Hello guys, welcome to Daddy Share Space and welcome to my channel. So today I'm coming to you with another unboxing. Let's just jump right on into it. Alright guys, so here we have the Festool LS Planex, and to be exact, this is the LS2 225. It is the long reach sander for drywall. Let's open it up and see what we have. So you see we have the dual T-locks. Let's open them up and let's take a look at what we have inside. So this is the inside contents. You can see we have the sander here, we have an extension, we have a power cable, we have the handle, and let me pull it around so I can take a look at it as well. Alright, so right here we have some kind of a clip. This is model number or part number KV215/5, and I would assume this is a clip to probably bind the hose or something like that, but we'll look into that and see what that entails. Obviously we have our manual here, and then we also have our warranty inclusive, which we'll get taken care of ASAP. So taking a look at the graphic here, you can see it has, you can get an interface pad for this. You've got the different types of sandpaper that you can use. You could use the sapphire, the granite. You have the coarse granite and then the fine granite. You can see there's just a difference in the hole pattern there. And then you also have the net granite. Those are the different types of sandpaper that you can use with this device. So taking a look at the other side of the graphic here, it looks like it's giving you instructions 1-2 on how to lock the extension in, and then 1-2 on how to open it up. And here it's giving you this B diagram is talking about the suction, and it tells you which direction to move the toggle in so that you get the most suction. And then back here on the hose cable attachment, I believe that's what this portion right here is. If you look at there, it kind of loops around here and it kind of shows you where it goes. Well, it actually shows you where it goes and how it attaches to the Planex sander. So reaching on the inside here, you've got your typical plug-it cord here. This is the one with the little T-notch. And then next, we've got wedged in here the extension, and it's got a green toggle there. On the inside here, I can see there is a metal piece that you can look at on the inside that hooks the other portion of this on, and then there are some power connectors on the inside on both ends. Down in the bottom here we have this is a 5-pack of the 180 granite sanding paper, and this is 9 inches or 225 mils. Let's take a look at that. And this is the granite. It appears to be the fine granite, and it's not the net. So, and it looks like the sapphire comes in P24 to P36. The net granite comes in 80 to 400. The soft granite comes in 80 to 400, and then the Festool granite, just I guess regular granite, comes in 40 to 320. So those are the different ranges that this comes in, and I'm looking to see if this has, whether it is the soft or just the regular granite. Looking at the front, it just looks like it's the regular granite. Next, we have the Planex head, the main part of this sander, or I guess the working part. And as you can see here, there's a vacuum hose here. Taking a look here at the top, you've got your toggle for suction. And it looks like for ceilings, you're going to push it all the way to the left, and then for walls, you're going to go all the way for the right. So to the left is going to give you the most suction on this device. This is, again, the Festool Planex. You've got your power cord that goes into the head. And taking a look here, you can see your connectors and how it connects up. Now, looking at the head itself, I can see that there are these plastic things that you can use, like either a screwdriver or maybe even a coin, to remove this interface pad. It is fairly soft, and yeah, so there's that. Up around this part here, I can see the LED light. Right at this portion is where the LEDs come together. So you're gonna have almost a nearly 360-degree light going all around. You probably won't notice much dimming at this part, but you can see back here clearly this is where the LEDs come together. It's a nice weighted device just with this portion here. And then it looks like finally we have the handle. The handle doesn't feel too heavy on its own. And let's go ahead and move the sustainer over to the side a little bit and take a closer look at the handle. So here you've got this toggle again, and I imagine this kind of clicks in line once you plug it in together. Right here you've got the connector, and this is to be able to use with the CT36 hose, which I do have here in the shop. All right, so here we have the CT36 hose. You can see it's kind of a rubberized, and it's got this kind of a nodular pattern, and the way it's going to connect onto this portion of the LS225 EQI, it's going to slide on like that, and then this is going to click down to hold it in place. And this hose is super pliable, so you can move it about when you're doing your sanding and doing whatever it is that you need to do. Now, removing that portion. Now, taking a look at this here, on the top you've got this button, and I would imagine that it looks like a Bluetooth button, so I'm imagining that's how you're going to pair it to your dust extractor. You have a button here to activate the light on top, and then you've got your 1 and 0 on and off. This particular sander does have a speed dial, like many Festool tools, that goes from 1 all the way up to 6. It has an EC-Tech brushless motor, and it's a 400-watt motor based upon what I'm seeing here on the diagram. So let's go ahead and pop it together. So first and foremost, I would imagine I can put this on here possibly in the shortest connection, and it does seem to fit. Okay. Now, as I'm holding it here like this, you know, holding it with one hand is definitely not an option, but this is going to give you your shortest way of using the tool. Now, I guess before I say that, I should plug it in and see if it actually powers up just with this short connection. So now that it's on there, now if you can see here, there's a little bit of a jostle to that. So then as I push that in, now it's locked in. Let's see how long this is in this particular configuration. So using a metric tape measure, you're looking at about 120 centimeters, and that turns out to be about just under about 47 inches long in this configuration. Now, when I go ahead and remove this portion here, so I'll unplug it, and let's see, how does it come off? Okay, it just pulls out once you unplug it. And then if I add my extension, which I'll plug this in here, like that, and we'll toggle it to lock it in, and then we'll add this extension and lock it in, which makes this a lot more of a wieldy device. I mean, it's pretty long there, so let's go ahead and get the measurement on that and see how long it is. So metric, we're looking at about, that takes it from 120 to about 168-ish centimeters. So it adds another 48 centimeters, give or take. And in inches, it's looking like it's about 64 inches, maybe give or take. Yeah, about 64 inches long. So those are the differences as far as length. And you can actually add another extension if you want to make this even longer. Now, let me see how far. Now with this, in this particular room, I can get to the ceiling in this room here. I don't know if I could stand back so you can see that possibly, but yeah, I would be able to sand here. And I'm only about 5'4" and 3/4", so I'm not that tall, but just with this extension would give me the ability to sand this ceiling in here. And I want to say these ceilings are probably closer to like 10 feet, if you will. So that's an option. Now, as I hold it up like this, it feels, I'm not quite sure, like over time, I can see myself becoming very fatigued with this. I did watch a couple videos of people that had this particular drywall sander, and one of the gentlemen said that he liked using it in the shorter form factor. He didn't like using it really long because he had a lot more control. And I can see how, even like if I was using, I definitely wouldn't use this like this on a wall unless I had to reach up very high, because it is pretty heavy for what it is. And I'll look up the exact weight and I'll post it here in the video. But it's not a light tool, that's for sure. And I could see myself, especially for a small wall task, I could see myself just using this with just the one extent, or just the handle and the base part. Now pulling this off feels a little bit, okay, there's a click to fully release that. You can hear that. So when I pull it back, and there you go. So there's not much to this drywall sander. I am happy about the fact that they do include a little bit of starter paper with this. Now I did order some 120. I have that on order. It should be coming in at any day now. So my plan is to build another one of my like faux wall carts, so that I can use some of the sheetrock that I have there, and then I can kind of give this a little bit of a trial run. Now, one thing that's unique about this particular drywall sander is it is a random orbit sander, very similar to Festool's other sanders that they have. It is not, it's just a rotating drywall sander. And my understanding, there is a Hilti and a Mirka sander that also has this feature where it does the rotation, or the random orbit, as opposed to simple rotation. In a future video, I'll kind of pull this out with the DeWalt drywall sander that I have and kind of show you a little bit of a comparison between the two, and talk a little bit more about weight and then how they actually feel in the hand. So this is something that I had on my list for a long time to get, as far as this Planex sander. Ever since I bought my DeWalt, which I bought several years ago, and I've used when I built my drywall carts in the past, it worked pretty well, and I use it in conjunction with the DeWalt FlexVolt dust extractor, which I have over here to my right. And if you want a fully battery powered solution, then that would be something that you would look for. This is definitely a corded option, but combining this with the CT36 that I bought recently, I'm anxious to see what the difference is in performance between the DeWalt and this Planex, because the DeWalt I think I bought for maybe about 600 or so bucks, maybe 650 or less. The extractor for that was probably about 450 or so. And this setup here, this particular drywall sander, it went up in price by $100. So it used to be $13.75. It is currently $14.75. So when you add in tax, that puts you at around $1,600 just for the sander. And then I got the updated model of the CT36, which is, I want to say $935 with the auto clean. So that also went up in price to some degree. So this whole setup is pushing you very close to about $3,000. You know, just shy, maybe 400 or so, $350 shy of $3,000, and that's only with 5 pieces of sandpaper and 1 bag with your dust extractor if you bought this all as a set. So anyways, I don't have a lot to say about this in this video, and just being frank, it's 5 o'clock in the morning, so I'm not going to turn it on right now, but look forward to when I get around to it and I get the time to be, you know, turning this thing on, firing it up, and using it on some of the projects that I have here planned in the future. I want to thank you guys for taking the time to check out the video, and I'll see you in my next one. Take care. Power cord is going to plug in right here. Alright, so we've got the light on. I'm going to turn the light off here in the garage so you can kind of get an idea of how well this lights up the space or your area. So as you can see here, the light is pretty bright. Now if you go into the Festool app, if you pair this with your Festool app, you will be able to change the setting on the light and maybe make it brighter or dim it. So it is giving me the ability to turn it off and on without the sander being on, so you can see the areas around the sander here and get an idea of how that may help you in a drywall application, giving you the ability to see nearly 365 degrees around the sander. Well, basically 365 degrees. There's only the one area where the 2 lights come together that you won't be able to see the full light brightness, but it's hardly noticeable from what I can see here. So this is actually a nice feature, and for the $13.75, this comes with this integrated into the tool, whereas the Merca and the Hilti that I mentioned earlier, they do not have the built-in light. So that would be one of the benefits to this particular sander over those. Now this particular sander does not do the whole 180 as far as the pivoting of the head, which I have heard some people speak about and basically saying that they prefer the head to be able to pivot a full 180, that it's a little bit more convenient for sanding ceilings. I'm not a professional, so I can't speak on that, so I would defer to their judgment in regards to that. Oh, there's a rubber strap up here, I didn't see that as well, that I missed. You can see it there. That's actually the holder that I was talking about that fits on the handle. If you take a look at there, you could put the second extension right in over this, so it's built to be able to house that. So in this little box, these are Velcro ties to be able to connect, to tie your hose to your vacuum hose, or to tie your power cord to your vacuum hose so that they're out of the way. And there's 5 of them in the box.